welcome to my first podcast. This podcast is gonna revolve around sports, NFL, NBA, NHL, European football, all kinds of sports. So, for my first podcast, what we're gonna be talking about is the Buffalo Bills draft and how they did, and my grade. So, the Buffalo Bills had a total of 7 picks in the 2020 NFL draft. And what they went for this draft is what I think is best player available. In each pick, you could see a reoccurring best player available pick. And they had no first round pick because of the trade for Stephon Diggs. So their first pick came in the second round with the 54th overall pick. With this pick, they went with AJ Epinesa. AJ Epinesa is a defensive end from Iowa. He was the first 5-star recruit in a long time to go to Iowa to play football. He's 6'6", 280 pounds, and is a monster. His weaknesses are his lack of speed. Maybe in the next level in the NFL, he's going to have a hard time getting away from the offensive tackles and getting loose. But his strengths are his strong hands, his excellent size, the impressive production he had in college. In 3 seasons, he had 26.5 sacks, and 22 of those sacks came in his last 2 seasons. He has a surprising first step, and he explodes off the line of scrimmage. It's just his lack of speed after that first explosion might be the one thing that will keep him from producing or becoming a very good NFL player. He was the number 2 or number 3 defensive end in the draft, and the Bills got him at number 54. In my book, this is an absolute steal for them. One of the reasons, maybe because of why he fell that far, is his lack of speed, and in the next level, all good defensive ends have a lot of speed. The only one that I can think of that doesn't have that much speed and that produces has been injured the past few years, which is J.J. Watt. But the rest have a lot of speed to get around the edges of the now more agile and quick offensive tackles in the league. Another reason could be his bad combine. He scored a pretty bad combine if you think of it. And I think if he wouldn't have went to the combine, he would have been for sure a first round pick. Easy. In the third round, the Bills went with a running back, another best player available in Zach Moss. He is a physical. When I say physical, he is a physical running back. He was a workhorse at Utah, and he's not afraid to lay the boom. Many compare him to a mini Marshawn Lynch in a way. He's 5'9", 220 pounds. He was the Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Year last year. This will create a great 1-2 punch with Devin Singletary, who's a little more of an agile running back, not much of a lay the boom type running back like Zach Moss. Zach Moss's strengths are that he's built with power. He's a very patient and running back. He runs very calmly and doesn't look like he doesn't know what he's doing when he's running. He's very physical. Like I said before, the first tackle will not bring him down. And cornerbacks and safeties will be scared, I think, to tackle him in the open field because he'll just run you over. A few of his weaknesses, and maybe the reason he fell this far down the board in round 3, is that he doesn't have that burner speed. He doesn't have the home run speed. He has speed, but he won't beat you with that. That's not his game. His running style, like I said, he was a workhorse at Utah, so maybe that could be concerned for injuries. He had a few injuries at Utah, and maybe the workload at Utah that he had caused fear in some GMs or some organizations to pick him. Also, another thing is that fumbles. Zach Moss, probably his biggest weakness or his biggest thing that he needs to work on are his fumbles. He had quite a few fumbles in his time with the Utah Utes. But finally, this pick for the Buffalo Bills was a need. They needed that second running back. Now without Frank Gore, their second running back was TJ Yeldon. I don't know if you like him or not. But I think this was a good need, a good pick, and maybe one of my favorite picks of their draft. After the Zach Moss pick, with the 128th overall pick in round 4, the Buffalo Bills went with Gabriel Davis. He's a wide receiver from Central Florida. Gabe had 72 receptions, 1,241 yards, and 12 touchdowns. He was also named to the first team All-Conference. He's a big target and a big play type of receiver and had a huge role at the University of Central Florida. He creates space, and he's just a great go-and-get-it type of receiver. His strengths are that he had multiple touchdowns in multiple years. He is consistently catching balls and not dropping them. He has a great catch radius, and he has the size and strength at 6'2", 216 pounds. For the first time in a while, the receiver position is not as big of a need in the first few starting roles for the Bills, but as a backup or as a role player that would come in after a few snaps that the starters are in, I think this is a great pickup. Because when you think of it, besides Diggs, Brown, and Beasley, the rest is all up to grabs. This guy, Gabe Davis, could be the 4th receiver on our team, as he could be the 7th. A few of his weaknesses are his route running. Not that it's a weakness, but he doesn't have the threatening, he'll cross you up or he'll cross you over. His speed is below average. After the catch, his ability to make a play is below average. But besides that, he'll make the catch. He'll get up and make the catch. He'll go get the catch. And he's a great player for Josh Allen because Josh Allen is not the most accurate quarterback, but he'll get it there. And if you get it there, this guy will catch it. Now, moving on. In round 5, Jake Fromm. This might come with a surprise to many people because they have their quarterback, the Buffalo Bills. But Jake Fromm, when he slides to number 5, that is a steal, and that's the best player available, which they've been doing this whole draft. Jake Fromm was supposed to go maybe in the 3rd, 4th round with many teams that need quarterbacks, but he slid to the 5th round and the Buffalo Bills got him. I think he's going to be a great backup quarterback for the Buffalo Bills. He's steady. He's a winner. Everything. He's had success in Georgia, led them to a national title game, but there are weaknesses. There are weaknesses with Jake Fromm. One, he does not have the arm strength. He can't throw the balls that Josh Allen can throw. He lacks the size. He lacks the physical tools of a quarterback. He's not big. He's not threatening. His deep ball is not very good. He missed pretty easy throws in his last season with Georgia, which was pretty. But on the other hand, he does have strengths, and many of those. He's super smart. He's quiet and comfortable in the pocket. He reads the field exceptionally. His accuracy is amazing, except he had a little 5-game run last year where he had under 50%. But overall, his accuracy is very good. He gets rid of the ball fast. He knows when to get rid of the ball when the pressure's coming. He's just a very smart, good backup quarterback in the NFL, and that's what he'll be. Now, in the later rounds, the Bills with the 188th pick in the 6th round went with Tyler Bass. Tyler Bass is a kicker. Yes, last year the Bills, one of their weaknesses was their kicking. Steven Hauschka had struggled last year, to say the least. Missed extra points, missed field goals, couldn't kick a field goal over 50 yards. This guy, Tyler Bass, has an absolute leg on him. There was a video resurfacing around social media of him kicking a 50-yard field goal without taking a step. Now that he has power. The one problem with him is his accuracy. His accuracy is the thing that he needs to work on. But besides that, it was a draft pick that you just say he comes in, he threats Steven Hauschka a little. Maybe he gets the starting job, maybe he doesn't. But he'll be the kicker. He will probably be the kicker in years to come for the Buffalo Bills. Now, with their second pick in the 6th round, they went with Isaiah Hodgins. This guy is probably my favorite pick in the draft by the Bills. He has size, strength, and for that size, his route running ability is outstanding. He runs a route like if he's 5'11 with super speed, but he's huge and does not have that speed. He creates lots of separation. All you have to do is go check some Isaiah Hodgins highlights, and you'll see the separation he gets off the line on some DBs. He leaves them in like on an island sometimes. He doesn't drop the ball. He tracks the ball amazingly. He has great hands. He high points the ball. Another thing like Gabe Davis, I think this was a little reoccurring thing. They want people to catch the ball. With Josh Allen, it might not always be right where you want it, but they want people to go up and get that ball, and that's what these two receivers that they got in this draft class do. They catch the ball and go and catch the ball and go get the ball. A few of his weaknesses are that he doesn't have the speed to blow by you in the NFL. He needs to be a little stronger, but I think that will come with being in the NFL. In his seasons with the Beavers at Oregon State, he had amazing seasons and was their leading receiver and leading touchdown getter. I think this was the best pick that they could have got at number 207. And I think this guy will have an impact next year with the Buffalo Bills. Mark my words. And finally, in round 7 with the 239th pick, this is just a cornerback. It's the 7th round. You're not expecting him to be the starting cornerback, but I think it's a good role piece. He could play special teams. He could play in the slot sometimes. It's just a good pick. Dane Jackson from Pittsburgh, a good 7th round pick. Nothing more I could say. It's a 7th round. It's a 7th round pick. All right, well, that was my little overview of their draft. I think all in all, I think this draft was A minus because I do put Stephon Diggs in this draft because they gave up their first round pick with Stephon Diggs. I don't care what people say. I don't think you could get it. I don't think you could have got a receiver like Stephon Diggs in this draft. You can't tell me these receivers could produce what Stephon Diggs has produced yet. And I think Stephon Diggs was a great move for the Bills. That's why I include him. So if Stephon Diggs is their first round pick, I give this draft A minus. If you don't want to include Stephon Diggs, I think this draft is a solid B plus. So, thank you very much for listening to my first ever podcast. I hope you liked it, and if you like it, just give me a like, give me a follow. It goes a long way. Thanks a lot. See you next time.